What happened to the man raised by wolves? He slept in caves with bats. He played with wolf cubs. His feet grew calluses as hard as stone. For 12 years, the Sierra Morena Mountains were his only home. Then, humans dragged him back to their world. He's never forgiven them. Marcos Rodríguez Pantoja was born in Spain in 1946. His mother died when he was 3. His stepmother beat him often. At 6, a stranger arrived on a chestnut horse. The boy's father sold him that day. No one ever learned for how much. The stranger took him deep into the Sierra Morena Mountains. He left him with an old shepherd. The shepherd taught him basic survival skills. Then one day, the old man went to hunt and never came back. Young Marcos didn't want to return home. The mountains seemed safer than his father's house. He watched how animals survived. Wild boars showed him which tubers to dig. Birds led him to berry bushes. He caught fish using rabbit blood as bait. His first wolf encounter could have been his last. He stumbled into their den during a storm. He fell asleep next to the wolf pups. The mother wolf returned. She snarled at first, then she shared her meat with him. The pack accepted him after that. For 12 years, he lived without human contact. He spoke in howls and grunts. His feet grew calluses thick enough to kick rocks. He slept in caves with bats and snakes. The wolves became his family. In 1965, everything changed. Police found him eating fruit under a tree. His hair was long and matted. He wore deerskin clothes. They tied his hands and dragged him down the mountain. Marcos howled as he left his world behind. The first barber who tried to cut his hair almost got attacked. Marcos thought the razor was a weapon. He couldn't speak anymore. 12 years without words had stolen his voice, but he could understand everything. This made his return even harder. Human society baffled him. He smashed a radio trying to free trapped people inside. The first time he saw a movie, he fled from cowboys galloping toward the screen. He didn't understand why restaurants charged money for food. Once, he unknowingly sold marijuana, thinking it was medicine. He tried returning to his wolf family years later, but everything had changed. Electric fences crossed the mountains. New houses stood where he once roamed. The wolves could smell human cologne on him now. They stayed away. Today, Marcos lives in a small village called Ronte. He's in his 70s. He watches TV for hours. Sometimes he goes hunting wild boar with friends. The villagers keep an eye on him. They understand he's different. Marcos still struggles with human ways. Politics confuse him. Sports mean nothing to him. Modern comforts don't impress him much. These are good reasons to stay, he says, but his heart remains in the mountains.